Alright, what's up yins guys? Time for another video, and here's some subject matter for you here which some of us find so uh, hilarious. Bad behavior that you've encountered, especially in places you worked in the past. And you find it, unlike other YouTubers, you find it almost slightly difficult to put sentences together to describe it or have the conversation without busting out laughing because it being so stupid. And when I describe this, I'm making this for everybody, even for haters who are lurkers on other political levels that don't like me too. But for people that I know that follow me, that are believe in the right to bear arms and admitted that you wear MAGA hats or whatever, to understand what I'm saying, and or if you admit that you ever encountered this bullshit in a workplace, just because you fractured somebody's ego at a workplace and you weren't intimidated by their bullshit, and you would have to say that nobody knows that you believe in the right to bear arms, nobody knows that you own a gun or own an AR-15, and pretend that you never wore an NRA shirt or a MAGA hat to work. Pretend that if you're one of them people, say you never blow the trumpet, to people like some people do, brag. You don't go out of your way to brandish any NRA logos, which I think is a good thing. And I myself, my YouTube channel isn't about that too. I believe in the right to bear, but you don't see me blowing the trumpet acting like I own any kind of firearms and all, because I believe in the right to own them and use them to defend yourself. So my YouTube, I'm not like the heavy duty country guy on YouTube, which I follow because that's his background. Anyway, and this video described this too. Also is to make references to other people in a workplace which you fracture their ego, that don't believe in the right to bear arms or guns, like the white leftists and people that, the ones that they don't like anybody else owning guns and they're against them, but yet they're friends with their boom 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 driving in cars rap music, either black or white, that sell them their drugs and playing their rap music with that sell them their drugs. Okay, they're it's okay for them to have guns. And okay, this is if you encounter two different kinds of people that don't know who you are and presume who you are, you fractured their ego at work because you nonchalantly weren't intimidated by their shit. I'm not going to tell no stories of the encounters and waste the whole video, but one side will, because you fracture their ego, even though things are supposed to be forgotten and you nonchalantly, politely weren't intimidated, one side will start conversations so you hear it with their friends and make reference to their gun and their AR-15 and presume, just because you fractured their ego, right, and you're a person who worked in a workplace worked for your money just like they do, all of a sudden you fracture their ego and weren't intimidated by bullshit because some workplace argument. They feel that all of a sudden they gotta have conversations with their buddies real loud, making reference to their AR-15 or their gun, and all of a sudden, just because you fracture their ego, all of a sudden, oh, you're a working person like you were, just like them, and all of a sudden, just because they got pissed off by you, all of a sudden you're somebody that they're fantasizing that might break into their house and or something like that. Ridiculous. And I'd tell a leftist don't really care, or an anti-gun person don't care if you encounter something like that either. All they care about is their narrative. They wouldn't even laugh or anything, because they're one-sided. But you get that, huh? How come you get certain people like that you run into, and they gotta revert to making comments so you hear it like, oh, like what the, and you're like, oh, what, oh, all of a sudden I'm somebody that might break into your house. Hey, I'm at this place too, working for my money. Like it's like, you know, when they engage in that kind of behavior because you fracture their ego, almost like they secretly want real badly that you secretly want to break in their house and rob their house. They got to talk about, and I'm not saying, and all people who have the right to bear arms or do this. As a matter of fact, those people are jerks. They're a small amount of the population. They're wannabe, you know what I mean? And then you got the other side, the wannabes too, that don't like guns, don't like NRA, don't like MAGA. The difference between them, instead of making a reference to their guns to make themselves feel better because they're insecure, they don't like guns, but they want to do away with guns, but instead of referring to their guns, because you fracture their ego, oh, I'm being repetitive here because I'm trying not to bust out laughing. They think it's okay to, because you fractured their ego, make references to their buddies with guns that might get you. They're pseudo, you know, the ones that are, if they could be white guys, they're play the rap music, the boom, boom, boom at work, and they make reference to their buddies to sell them their drugs after work because they're, yeah, after their workplace. Yeah, I put in my time. Where's the paycheck? So I can get my money and go get high and buy my 40-ounce beer and whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? And just because they buy their bag of weed from somebody, I don't know, it could be a white guy with tattoos that has Eminem blasting in his car, or rap music, boom, 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 or their friends that happen to be black that they surround themselves with that sell them their weed. They'll make references to that you better this or that. The pseudo gangster beta male will never be the gang person claiming to be gangster that say they'll shoot you, but yet they don't like guns, but you fracture their ego, they make references to their people they buy their weed from, both black or white, that they want you to believe that are in some kind of gang. They're like what I call pseudo gangsters, pseudo gangs, and I'll call these people that make reference to those that are their buddies surround themselves with. They're the pseudo gangster beta male, because all their the people they want to surround themselves that sell them their weed. They surround the people whom they want to surround themselves with, who also sell them their weed. They have to make references to them. You know, they're not man enough to talk to you on certain terms. You fracture their ego because you weren't psychologically intimidated by them over petty workplace dispute. Unlike the other side that I mentioned, making reference to their AR-15 and secretly have a desire or that you might break into your secret fantasy that they're hoping that you might out of nowhere have this urge to break into their house. The other ones, though, it's like, oh yeah, my buddies that sell me my weed that I'll get after you, like that they don't claim to be necessarily in a gang. They claim that they got gangsters that got their back. They're always playing their boom 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 gangster rap music real loud, and to announce or assert some kind of dominance or assert some kind of idea, or they're broadcasting and projecting some kind of idea that I'm supposed to see and hear what they're playing and their posture while they're driving a car, and I'm supposed to be scared of them and presume that they're an innuendo, that I'm supposed to presume that they got gangsters, the people that have guns, that I'm supposed to be scared of. I'm supposed to, maybe they buy weed from some people that, yeah, you know what I mean? They don't like guns. They're against guns, but they're the kind of people that you see them on the streets too, you know. But when you're in a workplace, they want to do as little work as possible. I put in my time, where's the weed? You know, two different kind of people, both wannabes. One ain't even NRA or at all, you know. Could be some idiot with a beer belly and a rickety beat up pickup truck that ain't even in the NRA. You fracture his ego a little bit when he's talking down to you, and you stand up to him. Go to his buddy and say, oh, just because I nonchalantly wasn't intimidated by you, all of a sudden I become some person that you have to warn real loud that I might break into your house and you would shoot me. Or you're the other side that you don't like guns, but I got gangsta buddies that you want me to believe that are gangsta, that you'll get, you can't talk to me like a man or whatever, and speak to me on equal terms. Get all mad when your little intimidation, psychological intimidation, your stupid shit doesn't work, and get all bent out of shape and make references to yeah, like, I'm saying this too to not waste the whole video on these type of people that yeah. Anyway, I got stories that I'd waste the whole video about, that memories that make me almost bust out laughing, but you get the idea. I mean, bad behavior on both sides. You know, one side is a wannabe and revert to making references to his AR-15 or whatever, and the other one will make references to his, he don't have a gun, but his gangster buddies that sell him his weed that have a gun. Yeah, don't let, you know, once, yeah, he's a hypocrite and don't like guns, you know. Yeah, that's the kind of crap that you get, you know what I mean? And yeah, you know, everybody knows the white leftist hates guns, but yet all his criminal friends that sell him his weed and all that crap, oh, they can have guns, it's totally okay. And then listen to the rap music in your car that make references to retaliating against somebody by drive-by shootings. Listen to that music and you advocate that crap, which I'd do a whole video. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but say if I did a whole video on these young people, some of them end up in jail doing drive-by shootings, because, not to waste too much time on it, everybody knows, you know, you got gangs out there in other cities that ain't afraid to get in rough and tumbles and beat each other up, but yet they carry guns too. But yet you'll see these other pseudo-gangster people, black and white, some of them kids, some of them barely out of high school that you'd work next to. If they get involved in something like that, they think they're gangster. Well, you've seen ones on the news that they're not even pretty young, and they do a drive-by shooting because they're imitating the actual gangs, and they're not no real gang, right? And all a drive-by shooting is, those drive-by shootings that the rap music makes references to, most of them committed by pseudo-gangsters, and they wind up in prison next to people that, and they're not so tough. But anyway, the drive-by shooting is mostly to feel gangsta. And actually, it's a cowardly shooting. You're shooting people and hurry up and driving away and hoping you don't get seen by camera surveillance you have nowadays. So you can do a whole video on that too, if people try to act like and to scare you with something like that too in a workplace because they're pretending to be something. You can do a whole video on that, what a drive-by shooter actually really is. They're not gangsta, they're just a coward with a gun who winds up eventually in prison. And you're some person, maybe 120-pound person, hardly no physique. You go in prison for doing something with a gun, and you're in somebody, and you can be in prison next to somebody who will beat you up that might be a little more gangster than you know, might actually be a little gangster that'll beat you up in prison, you know what I mean? So you can do a whole video on that logic. And the reason why I use that in a video and talk about that in a video a lot is because if you encounter somebody like that in a workplace or in a world, or young kids acting like they got gangsta buddies, I says, you can tell them, you don't fool me. What's that you're making reference to that I'm supposed to be scared of you? Yeah, you got some buddies that you claim that will do a cowardly shooting on me because I threatened such shit that you can't come through with, right? Because I fractured your ego and shit like that. You know, like white kids do that shit all the time. You know, you get the white kids that want to be gangster, and you get the white kids that, oh, I got somebody, maybe some people that sell me my weed that I'll get after you, and those, and like, there's some really very dumb and gullible conservatives that might fall for that. Even some of them ain't fallen for that. But there was an era where you'd get certain conservatives, it was in church people, mortified or scared like they were a gang, and you'll get. I did videos in the past, I think years ago, where you had some people not against them because they go to church, but they were trying to act like, oh, I ministered to gang members, and no, you didn't minister to gang members. You ministered to kids acting like they're gang members, and maybe nothing against you personally. That, to be polite, you're just that overly domesticated that that looks like a gang member to you. You know, I mean, you know, but you're getting into other stuff that's you can do a whole video about. You know, but I figure I'd throw that in there. But anyway.